give it a name and give it a framework version, and also the app, this kind of thing. And the provider means the cloud server provider, right? So we want to use AWS, and we need to configure it. And this environment thing here. So actually, AWS provides us a lot of things like the dynamic DB and S3 bucket, this kind of thing we can configure it here. So it means our service will use this kind of service as a resource. And this part mainly is to configure the table, the database. So we gave it a name, and these variables like option staging. If you check the documentation, it's just automatic. It will automatically generate for you. So we can choose the staging, like it's QA or product or dev. So
cool.
Eventually, it will create a table name for us to use in our code, like in this Galaxy API. So if we okay, the first thing we need to use AWS SDK, and this is a third-party library to generate a UUID, and this DynamoDB library is coming from AWS SDK. And the next thing is to choose what kind of table we want to use, right? So here, the process environment, this table. Actually, this table name is coming from the config file, right? We configure it here. So basically, the name will be name. What? Sorry, let me go to yeah, I think John has forwarded the email to you, and you get the AWS account and password. If you log in and you go to DynamoDB and go to tables, we will find there are 3 tables here now. So actually, the Galaxy table name is Galaxy-QA. If I open it, items, we have these items, but the name here is this. So the service name is Galaxy, right? Dash what? Dash QA, dash product, dash dev. So it will be automatically generated. So we gave it this variable here. And also in this service, Galaxy service, we need to use 2 tables, and we also need to use coordinate table. So we also define the coordinate table name here. And the next part, the role statements here, is for what kind of like action we can do on that database in this Galaxy service. So actually, we want to like query, scan, get item, put item, update, delete item to this table. So we need to include all of these actions here. But for the coordinate table, in this Galaxy service, we only need to get it. So we only need to add an action here. So for this part, I suggest you to Google AWS DynamoDB Node.js library SDK. Okay. So in this part, like if we could get, yeah, or if you can choose this, the document from the Amazon, it will tell you how to create a table, this kind of thing. So in that case, we know what this means. These actions are just the AWS DynamoDB Node.js SDK methods, right? So this query, scan, get item, put item, this just the method we can use. And the next part, the function part, is to create functions. So the handler is coming from our how to say JavaScript code. So actually, this if we create a function create and we give it a description like I create a new galaxy, right? So which method we want to use, we will define it in this API galaxy.js file. So it will export a module, and that module can contain, I mean, a create method, right? This is a create function, so we just define this function and put it here, and give it an event. This event is just a HTTP request, right? So give it a parse and give it a method, HTTP method. It should be post if we want to create something. And this, I add a schema here. This schema is just for validation. So if we put something like in the body, in the REST API body, the easiest way for us, or the simple thing for us to do, is just validate it in the function itself. Like here. Yeah, and also I suggest you to read the documentation of the serverless framework to all the AWS Node.js SDK, because once the function we create will use this event context, what event will give you and what context will give you, and what callback means. But basically, if we create this function, the data, the event, the body will be the request body, and we can know the data in there. So every time we create something, the server will get this data, and we want to do some validation here to validate the data first. But in terms to do that, I gave it a schema here, like a create request schema. Serverless framework will only support this schema, this type of schema. But at least if we define it, it will do the validation automatically. Like in the data body, we want to add current ID, name, X, and Y. It's required. If someone create a galaxy without like a name, you will get a error message. That's it. And the current ID should be a string type, and the pattern is here. It's just a UUID pattern, so it means it's a I know you know that it's a regex like expression. Okay, so if you do that, the server will do the validation for you automatically.
Great.
Okay, that's the basic structure of this project, and using this, I think it's easy for us to just create microservice. Like this service is just only for Galaxy, right? And this service is only for Quadrant. If we can focus on just touch one of this, and we do not worry about if change something here, we will, I mean, mess up other like service. So, but still, I'd suggest you to if you want to use this technology, you need to read some documentation from serverless and AWS. And I will show you this. The Postman. Postman is just like how to say REST API or HTTP request tool for us, just like the CORL command tool. And so do you use it? So if you use it, yeah, okay, cool. So then I can package my collections. Like this is a staging QA. So it contains all the existing REST API. Let's try create a Galaxy, right? So it will contain something. Just as I said, if the coordinate ID is required, right? If we do not give it a coordinate ID in the body, and if we request it, it will give you a message, invalid request.
And that's because of the JSON parser?
Yes. Let me show you how we get this message. This validation thing, the message is automatically sent to you. But when we create a Galaxy, we also do here. We need to check if the coordinate is existing or not, right? So, okay. In terms of that, I need you to read something about DynamoDB. So it's super simple, but it's just like MongoDB is a non-relational database. But there are only 2 keys in the table. So we need, the most important thing is to give it a hash key. It's just like the, how to say, the UID or something else. Never mind. So, but in this table, we gave it a coordinate ID to every Galaxy record, which means that's the primary key of it in terms of the relational DB, but never mind. And also this ID is the Galaxy's own UID. So every time we create a Galaxy, we need to give it to give it a coordinate ID first. And we want to make sure the coordinate is existing. So let me list coordinate first. Okay, we have 3 coordinates now. But if we want to create a Galaxy with the wrong coordinate ID, what will happen? Give it fake. Okay, it will give you another error message. Couldn't create the Galaxy item. Error coordinate ID is invalid. So all these error messages we can define in our functions, like here, check if coordinate is existing with the coordinate ID first. We want to use get, DB get item, and that item, the validation parameters is here. So we want to get a coordinate item with the given coordinate ID in that coordinate table first. If we can get that coordinate item, which means we can create a Galaxy in it. If we cannot find any coordinate with that ID, we will give you the error message. And that error message will come from here, right? We give it our coordinate ID is invalid, right? And give it a failed callback. And we define the response, the header and the body, and the status code. Right, headers we define here, and the error message will be couldn't create the Galaxy item and give it an error message. So all these things we can, do it in the function just yet. And I will share this current.
May I ask a question, Steve? So I see quadrant down to Galaxy. Does that mean we have to add next star system and then planet?
Yeah.
We have to do those. Okay, great.
I'm doing it now. Yeah.
Oh, you're doing it.
Don't worry about it. Yeah, I will bring our old project back. So I will do all the things. But the key is, if our team want to use this tag net, they can, just use my current IU serverless repository as a tutorial or example.
Yep.
And you can build, and we can build the new like server for the current project, which Yilin is working on. Right?
Great.
Front end. Okay.
DIY AWS server.
Yeah.
Great. Got it.
And the front end things, I've also put it on, hosted on GitHub page, right? So that repository is public to everyone, I think. So let me show you the project.
In other words, we can access this from a browser already, Steve?
Yeah, already you can do it. So let me show you the, okay. So for now, the address is steve.github.io/ I, Invention, U, Universe 2016.
Okay.
And for our team, if you want to look into the front end code, please go to my account, repository, Invention Universe 2016. It's public, I think. Yeah, it's public. And the branch should be this branch, GHPage branch. And this front end project is super simple. I didn't use any framework. It's just a plain like HTML and JavaScript.
Sorry, Steve, can you put this URL in the chat box? I'm going to have.
Okay, yeah, let me do it now.
Thank you.
Yeah, let me do it now.
Thank you, thank you.
No, chat. This is the repository.
Great.
And this is link.
This is the action.
Okay.
Fantastic, thank you.
And if you, okay, so this front end project just use like using index.html to host the static. This is a one-page website. Yeah, I didn't give it using like any router, yeah, this kind of thing. But never mind. After I finished the serverless server, I may want to do some refactor on this project. Maybe I want to use React.js to redo it. Never mind. And the JS folder contains this is app.js is the main JavaScript library for this project, and the labs contains all the third-party JavaScript libraries. And if you want to run it, just open this URL in your browser, and you can. So for now we only get three galaxies, right? And you can find the minimap here. The minimap only contains 3 quadrants. So, yeah. Cool. And all this data is coming from the old server. It's a MySQL database. I migrated back. And if we click this galaxy, we can go to, this is our, which galaxy? The build it yourself galaxy contains 4 systems, and that's it. Because we only have quadrant table, galaxy table, and systems table. Great. And I will. This is an old project, and the table show tables. This is my circle. So I need to put next thing is planets, right? And profiles.
Yeah.
Star skills.
Yeah.
Oh, so star system is a planet. Yeah, I will put planets back, profiles back. Okay. And another thing missing in this serverless project is the authentication part. Because if we want to do the let user log in and sign up, we want to write some authentication functions, but it's not so hard. And in the if we search auth, yeah, we can use this AWS Auth0 custom authentication API to do so. Yeah, never mind, but I will implement it. After it, we can, I mean, after I've done this, we can have another meeting to talk about this. But I think everything we want to do, and also if we want to upload video or image, photos to the server, we can also use AWS 3S bucket, S3 bucket as a resource, and configure in our serverless YAML file. And in that case, we can, do this kind of thing. It's not so hard anymore. But before, if we use PHP or other like server framework to do it, it's hard. Not hard, but not so like straightforward or simple. Yeah.
Great. Fantastic, Steve. Steve, Michael just joined, and although I recorded this meeting, I didn't record the very first part when you were talking about packages and where to go for documentation. Would you mind just repeating the first 5 minutes?
First 5 minutes. Okay.
Introduce Michael to, I know the first thing you showed us was packages, and then you showed us where the documentation was.
Okay. So, just go to this IO serverless repository, and the project structure is very straightforward and simple. The first thing, in the root, we have a package.json file, and we do not need to add any, dependencies here. For now, I just only add some linter package for development. And in this project, we should add sub-project. Like if we want to create a Galaxy service, we need to create a folder for it. And we also need to initiate an npm package in it. And in this folder, we can add some third-party like packages here. And also in the sub-project, we need to configure our serverless framework to add this YAML file. After we add this YAML file, we can define some schema here. And also we can, where we put the function, we need to create another folder, give it a JavaScript, create a new JavaScript, and then create all the functions here. We have create function, list function, and get function.
Great.
Yeah. And also I will, share of you the current POSTMAN APIs. I will export them and email it to you.
Great. Yeah. And can you show Michael where the documentation, the AWS documentation is?
Oh, sure. First thing is go to serverless framework. Find docs and just search AWS. It will give you AWS provider documentations. And also, if you want to find examples, you can go to examples and.
Great.
Yeah, choose AWS and then Node.js, and plenty of examples and tutorials here.
Great. Steve, we have this all recorded now, so if anyone, we can always refer to this. Great, thank you.
Yeah.
Any questions? Go ahead, Steve.
Okay. And since you already have the AWS account and password, you can directly go to it. And the services should be, the first thing is DynamoDB. There are 3 tables here, and S3 bucket. These, folders in the S3 buckets are automatically generated. So if we use serverless framework and we deploy it, it will be automatically generated. So all of them will be automatically generated. So basically, we do not need to manually touch all of this. But if you want, you can go there. And the functions are here. So the lambda things. And all this QA staging function are here. If something really wrong and you want to monitor it, like Galaxy create, we just use it, right? We can click monitoring and view logs here. And we can see what's wrong here. Yeah, but usually we do not need to do this. Yeah.
Sweet. Okay.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Great. Thomas and Lucian, any questions?
I don't necessarily have many questions so far. I guess one question would be, Steve, if you're confident that like we can get all possible functionality that we had in the old Invention universe, even though it was relatively limited, into this new one and expand off of that as well. I feel like we should be able to, but I just want to confirm with you.
So what Lucian and Yilin are doing is flushing out or expanding on the planet navigation. In the previous in your version, Steve, we just had a screenshot on the planet. You know all of this. So yeah. So the question is, we want to build a new version under this framework, this serverless framework.
Yes.
Yeah. And we should be able to do all the new functionality under the umbrella of this new framework.
I believe so.
Okay.
That's
your question, right, Lucian? All the new functionality we're adding, we want to be sure that this new serverless framework accommodates that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, we can get to market much quicker this way.
Yeah, definitely.
And so that's a strong pro for this approach, getting to market quick.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just thinking about what kind of feature this serverless cannot provide to us. I can't. Yeah. I'm pretty sure we can do everything, anything we want, like compared to the old way. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Stephen, this is just a big picture question when we talk to partners and investors who want to know how we're architecting this. With respect to the computer architecture that I was told is the way they teach computer science now, model, viewer, controller, does this approach fit within that model, viewer, controller architecture or separation of concerns between the database, the front end, and the code that interfaces the two?
First thing, I don't think it's MVC, like a traditional or conventional MVC thing. The model view controller, at least in front end, we are using React.js, which just focus on the view part. The model part is just the database. I mean, React.js just like use what it can receive, like the data. So all the data is provided by us, by the REST API, at least for now. Yeah. So the front end just, focus on the view part. And also, so actually, if we use serverless framework, it's not like, we're not building the product like, there's a terminology for this, I forgot. Like a whole thing, right?
Okay.
You say that now the front end, like my Invention Universe 2016, right? The front end, we can host in another server. I host it on GitHub page, right?
Yeah.
And there's all the database, and the database is in AWS DynamicDB, and the all the other Galaxy service and the Quadrant service are hosted in different, like using different paths like URL.
Okay. Is that analogous to the separation of concerns concept that I'm told is the way the computer science? Yeah.
It's just like a microservice thing. So it's like trend or something else. I don't know. So, but but when we use it, I found it really like.
Okay.
It convinced me to use it because we have a small team and we want to implement it really quick. Yeah.
Great. Great. Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to have a 1 or 2 sentence explanation to investors or partners. This is why we chose this particular architecture.
Okay. In that case, I hope our team like Lucia or Thompson or you can do some research on what's this serverless or microservice for.
Yeah.
And why we choose, what's the benefit if we choose it to use it.
Great. Lucian and Thomason and Michael, would you put that on your to-do list? In our elevator pitch, we want to explain why we chose this architecture.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Sure.
Does that make sense, guys?
Yep.
We should have a big picture perspective as well, a top-down perspective as well as a bottom-up perspective when we're talking to investors. And they're going to be mostly interested in the big picture architecture.
Mm-hmm.
We should be prepared to answer questions about the big picture. I doubt if they're going to drill down to the bottom up. Okay, Steve, this looks, you know, from my perspective, getting to market quick is music to my ears. So, and to have the 2.16 version up so we can demonstrate it. You know, right now we're demonstrating Invention Universe through a video we made, but it'd be much nicer if it were live. So,
Yes.
That's great.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing all of this, Steve.
Yeah, sure. After I finish the old version, I will put the repository in our BIY account and then to host it there. So it should not be Steve's real. It should be biy.github.io.
Excellent. Yeah. Yep. Good. Okay. All right. Unless there are any other questions, we'll adjourn. And well, next steps, Lucian, Michael, and Thomason, do we want to define what we should do next to bring our Planet View code into this new structure?
You mean linking the front end and the back end?
Yeah, I mean, Lucian, can you define, you know, tasks for Michael, Thomason, and yourself? Or do you want to give some thought to that and send us an email?
Yeah, I mean, I'm wondering how, because so in our old framework. So wait, actually, Steve, would we be able to use all of Yulin's like React framework and link it to the new backend? Like, is that something that we can do with what we have right now with your current backend?
Yeah.
On Scheduler?
The thing is, Yilin, I think, I don't know, not I don't know, but the new front end from Yilin should be able to adapt to any kind of, not any kind, any backend. So we only provide her a REST API. But I'm not sure if you are using GraphQL. If you are using GraphQL, then the backend, like the serverless things or the backend, or the other server should use GraphQL. I don't know. I think we should talk to Yilin later. But in my opinion, that React.js just focus on the view side, and the data just coming from what else, like REST API or Socket API or any like GraphQL, like this kind of thing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So if you want to still working on the old backend, that's fine. You can continue doing that, and using the slide circle database, that's also fine. And because this serverless thing is just a new thing, right? So I just this part is I mean I brought up it because I want to fix our old project, and I found the serverless framework, and I think the AWS Lambda and DynamicDB should be a good choice for me to do it. And also for the new project, like for you just make the decision, right? Please make that decision.
Okay.
If you want to keep working on the old project, that's fine, totally fine. Because we've already have like the previous work there, like who did it, Alex and someone else.
Yeah.
Put a lot of things in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But my opinion is I tried that project and debugged it, and I don't know, it's really good for us because we have small team, and this team is not a static, like not static, a permanent team, right? Yeah. For the future, I think it may be. I think it may be the time we can transfer it to a more like smart way to do it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Okay. So we may have to write some code over again, but bringing new people on board on this team is important. If Steve's approach allows us to do that more easily, and we can get to market quicker.
Or I have another idea. We can keep the old part if we can deploy it on a server. I mean the old, not the old part. I mean the what does it? The backend we are using it now, like for Yiling, and you can create a new service, serverless service. Like if we want to use new data and a new, like I don't know what you want, like create a coin system or gold system.
Yes, right.
You can use this serverless things. You just create it and host it and give Yiling a REST API. Because the front end doesn't care the data, where the data coming from, right? You can host the data or service in a server or in multiple server, multiple places. That's fine.
Great.
So you know what I mean, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So we can keep the old code, and you can deploy it, and you can still use it. And for the new feature part, you can try to use this serverless thing to create like a new table and new functions and host it on AWS, and just provide the REST API endpoint and method to Yiling, and Yiling can, oh, okay, for this part of data, I can fetch it or get it from otherwhere. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but I think it's possible. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. Good question, Lucian. Michael, any thoughts, questions? I have this all recorded, so you can go back and.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just thinking that in terms of the front end, we might have to change like some of the ways we query the back end.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll have to look into any methods in the front end that make those API calls.
Okay.
So.
All right. Can you put that on your to-do list for next week?
Sure.
Great. Thomason, any questions?
Just
listening, absorbing.
Are we gonna have to add a lab database as well as a planet?
Oh, that's an interesting question. I don't think so, because the data that we create in the lab should be the same as the data should be tied to the data we create from the rocket ship.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So, I mean, I don't really know, but my sense is it seems to me it'd be easier. It's a member that owns a planet. So that should all be in one place, it seems to me.
Have all their projects like under just like the planet or something, or like a project area of the table that like belongs to a planet or something?
Exactly. A member owns a planet, and all the data associated with that member should be in one place.
Okay. And that place is going to be in the planet?
On the planet, yeah.
Okay.
So we can enter data for the planet from the rocket ship or from the lab. I don't know if I answered your question, but it seems to me that's the way we should think of it. We don't need to add a whole new section for lab. Okay. All right. So do we all have to-do lists for next week?
I believe so. I'm going to be looking up all of the Auth0 and DynamoDB and S3 for AWS to see if we can do all of that functionality as well. Because that's a lot of where we're going, is being able to upload things and authenticate. So I'll start looking into that as far as serverless goes.
Okay. Lucian, could I ask you to send an email to the team and just suggest, here's what I think would be helpful if everyone does for next week?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And great. Okay. You may want to research a little bit first and then make that to-do list from your research.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Okay. Great. Again, Steve, thank you. Thanks for teaching us a new way of thinking.
Oh, sure. Thank you, everyone. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Have a good week, guys. Don't be afraid to, email Steve or me if you have questions.
Yep. Gotcha. Thank you so much.
All right. Bye, guys.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.